When you put your loved one in a nursing home, you're entrusting the staff to take care of them, to answer their calls for help. But that didn't happen to 89-year-old James Dempsey, a World War II veteran, father and grandfather from Woodstock. He, like all of us, deserved to live and die with dignity. Instead, video taken from a hidden camera installed by his family shows his calls for help going unanswered. And the nurses laughing when he needs their help the most. The 11 Alive investigators had to fight to get the video from the nursing home operators who tried to appeal its release all the way to the state's highest court. Tonight, 11 Alive's investigator Andy Parati has the story the nursing home didn't want you to see, and it may make you question how your own loved ones may be being treated.
When Fred Aboud looks across the street, he feels empty.
Can't ask for a better neighbor.
He's talking about James Dempsey, who died in 2014, a decorated World War II veteran. He was 89 years old. Aboud assumed his neighbor's passing was natural. But hidden camera video obtained by the 11 Alive investigators captured here inside the Northeast Atlanta Health and Rehabilitation Center where Dempsey died tells a different story.
I got a call from the terrace.
This is a deposition with Wanda Knuckles, a nursing supervisor working the night Dempsey died. It's part of a lawsuit Dempsey's family filed against the nursing home. Here she explains what she claims she was doing moments before Dempsey stopped breathing.
From the time you came in, you took over doing chest compressions from Miss Loyce, correct?
Yes.
Until the time the paramedics arrived, were you giving CPR continuously?
Yes.
Those were the answers the nurse provided before she knew hidden camera video existed. Here's what actually happened.
Who just came into the room,
That's
ma'am?
me.
You came into the room at 6:23:10, correct, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. And contrary to the way you testified previously, there's no one doing CPR, is there?
No.
That really wasn't the truth, was it?
Sir, that was an honest mistake.
Do you believe her?
Absolutely not. And she called it an honest mistake. That's not an honest mistake. That's a deliberate thing to say, covering up, you know, a mess.
The video shows Dempsey calling for help at least 6 times before he goes unconscious. Records show Dempsey is found unresponsive at 5:28 a.m. It took almost an hour to call 911. When a nurse does respond, she fails to check any of his vital signs.
If you witnessed this nurse, had you seen this as it was happening, would you have written her up?
Yes.
It doesn't stop there. When the nurses had difficulty getting Dempsey's oxygen machine operational, something struck them as funny.
Man, was there something funny that was happening?
I can't even remember all that, as you can see.
It makes me nauseated.
We showed the video to Elaine Harris, a retired nursing professor and expert in adult critical care.
In 43 years of nursing, I have never seen such disregard for human life in a healthcare setting as what I witnessed.
The nursing home operators declined to be interviewed. Instead, a spokesperson sent this letter to say they are saddened by the events which occurred more than 3 years ago. It goes on to say the facility has new leadership, and a 2017 state inspection found it was deficiency-free.
I mean, it's just something really hard to accept.
A neighbor remembered for his kindness,
To see him die like that,
who died begging for help that came too late.
it's just awful.
All right, and Andy's with us now. How about the nurses? What happened to them?
You know, according to the nursing board, they surrendered their licenses this past September, but that means over the past 3 years, they were working or eligible to work as nurses in the state of Georgia for the past 3 years.
Even after that happened. All right, now, Mr. Dempsey's family set up that camera. What are they saying now about all this?
You know, they are unable to talk right now due to the terms of the settlement agreement that they've reached with the nursing home. But I can tell you many months ago when I first reached out to them, They were disturbed and very, very upset about what happened to them.
Yeah, understandably so. You know, a lot of our viewers have been commenting on the story online. The overall sentiment, nursing homes need to be held accountable, and there should be 24 hours of surveillance. Well, earlier tonight, I spoke with attorney Stephen Chance, who specializes in nursing home litigation, and I asked him what the law in the state of Georgia says about putting a hidden camera in a nursing home room.
The law in Georgia is that you cannot conduct video surveillance in a private place without the consent of everyone who's being observed. There's an exception to that law that I'll call the home security law. One can make the argument that this is the residence of the nursing home patient, and therefore they have the benefit of that home security exception. But it gets complicated because if the caregiver also has a reasonable expectation of privacy in that place, then they could invoke the statute.
Yeah, that's really in the gray area, right? So did anything happen to the Dempseys for putting that camera in there?
No, not as far as I know, but I can tell you while the law is not clear, it is very clear that we would never have known what happened to Mr. Dempsey without that video.
Without the video, absolutely. Well, Andy, thanks so much. I know you're going to stay on top of the story. Any new developments, let us know.
You got it.